Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are absolutely amazing and that you have had a wonderful Wednesday. If you haven't had a wonderful Wednesday, this is now when the wonderfulness is going to start. I'm Nadine Forstler, better known as Mama Tjhoko, and I'm here to inspire you to create beauty within your own space. We are nearing a festive season, but it should be festivity in and around us every day, because there are so many things to be thankful for. Today I'm going to inspire you in a few simple, easy steps and ways on creating the perfect table centerpiece with Tjhoko paint, some inspiration and some creative ideas. So this is what we are going to do today. We are going to work with one of Tjhoko paint's planter boxes. This is made from reclaimed, upcycled pallet wood, and then on the inside I'm going to show you how to Tjhoko your Tjhoko jars on the inside, not on the outside. And I'm also going to show you how to create beautiful candles in and around your area. Also used candles that we are just going to give a new lease on life. And then just some creative ideas on how you can be creative with wire, a fork and then pliers. Okay, we are going to start with a planter box. Just like that, I have already done the first technique on my planter box that's over here, but I'm going to show you on the exact same surface, pallet wood, how to create a lime wash technique. It's something that I have done quite often, but for those that haven't seen it, here's a few simple and easy ways of using very little paint on a raw timber, raw cement, a raw brick surface to change the color of the surface, but not necessarily hide all the marks and also the natural elements that is on wood, or cement or brick. Firstly, for this technique, I'm going to break it down because there's a lot happening today. So for a lime wash or whitewash technique, although the technique says whitewash, it doesn't need to be with white. It can be done with any color paint. We need some normal tap water. You need an old rag and then the Tjhoko color of your choice. I'm going to do it. My Christmas theme has a certain color theme that we are pulling through. I'm going to do my technique with Creative Crystal. So first step, wet your cloth, squeeze out excess moisture, but more wet now than dry. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wet my wood. Seeing that there's no varnish on it, and this is important, it's raw. I do want the color of the paint to absorb evenly into my surface. And to accomplish that, you need a wet surface so that the color absorption happens evenly. Pablo is again having his first time and playing with himself. Okay, my rag is still wet. And what I'm going to do, and the entire idea for these sessions is actually to show with how little paint you can do so much. I've added
just the color of the paint that you've been adding.
The color is Creative Crystal. So I'm working for this technique with Creative Crystal. Okay, you can ask questions if there are questions. Okay. So
I just want to make sure that the sound is okay with everyone, because I have seen a comment with sound problems.
Quickly see if my sound volume is turned up. Okay. If there's a sound problem, let us know so that we can see how we're going to fix it. Okay, what I now do is I have evenly spread the paint on my wet cloth, and now I'm simply wiping my surface with my dirty rag. So I'm washing my surface, and this is also why the technique is called lime wash or white wash. Just important, I'm repeating myself, the surface needs to be raw. Okay, no varnish on the surface. I'm just wetting my cloth with some water again. Make sure it's nice and wet so that the spreading happens nicely and evenly. Now, this is something that I mention often. You can always at any time change anything. So if, for instance, you feel that once this coat has dried, that the color is too light, you can add another layer. Once this has dried and you feel the color is too dark, you can do one of two things. You can either sand with a 100 grit piece of sanding paper. I have a sanding block here, but only once it is dry. Okay, don't try it when everything is still wet. You won't see a result. And the other, and I'm going to show that just for those that want to tweak something, the other method of changing something is to simply add another color. So if I want to make it lighter, I will work with a lighter color. And I have Soulful Sanita here. Same step.
Just show the color again.
Sorry, Kaylee. So it's Soulful Sanita. It can be any light Tjhoko color that you have. Also something that I always mention, color is a personal choice. I'm giving ideas. You are going to do this even better, that I'm trying to do it, and you're going to use colors that make you happy. Okay, I'm spreading the paint nicely evenly, and now I can, with a lighter color, wash on top. So anything can be changed at any point. Do what makes you happy. Something special about Tjhoko is the fact that everything is water-based, and that also gives you the freedom to play and be creative without any limitations. Okay, so there the color is manipulated. Next, we are going to now wait for this to dry. Now we are doing it on a table centerpiece, but now just imagine you have a furniture piece, a bench or something that you want to do this technique on. This is how you'll do it. If the item is standing outside, you will use our clear glaze. Now what the clear glaze does, it's a pure acrylic water-based sealant that makes the surface UV and water resistant. And fine furniture outside that you line wash in the color of your choice, and you simply, for outside, I will simply do exactly what I've just done. So the instructions on the lid says dilute with 3% water. If on a raw surface like this, I will work with a wet cloth, take my glaze, let me show you. Indoors, you can do the dilution, solid painted surfaces, you do the dilution. The reason why I'm saying you don't need to dilute in this instance is due to the fact that the surface is raw, so it can absorb excess sealant. Because the sealant in its undiluted form can be tacky if it is applied too thick, and you don't want a sticky surface. So what I do, wet cloth, wait for the paint to dry completely, allow at least 4 hours, and then you will spread this on top of your surface. We don't need to do it for our table centerpieces. Tjhoko has a built-in sealer. This is just to make the surface UV and water resistant. So outdoor furniture, stunning quick technique to do on raw timber furniture pieces with very little paint, and the results are amazing. Okay. Our next inspiration for our table centerpiece is the following. We do want to add some excitement on our table centerpiece. Once again, pattern, you use what makes you happy. I'm going to go with the stencil, okay, before you ask me. It's 24 A3-1. Also, if you have your Cricut machine, you can cut your own stencil and use a design that makes you happy. Alternatively, check out the Tjhoko range. we have done the thinking work for you. Color I'm going to use next is Lady Lisa, and this is sort of a shout out for all the ladies that's part of this live session. Everyone, special people in my life and in the life of the Tjhoko family. Okay, so when stenciling, we use a stencil brush, short, stiff bristles, very little paint. I'm going to, I just want to see where my cloth is. Here's a dry rag. I remove excess, rather use too little. Although it might seem that the detail on the stencil design is small and you want to use a lot of paint to ensure that the print is visible, less ensures success. There's a question. Kelly, I'm listening.
So there is a question on the price of the stencils.
So I am not entirely sure, but we have a website, Tjhoko Paint. Go have a look. We also currently have specials on the online store. All the stockers have received promotions earlier the month, and I'm sure that they are also using that in store. Prices are available on the website. So if you go to tjokopaint.co.za, it will be available. Depends on the size, so you will see the different sizes have all their own prices. And also the beauty of this, it's good quality. If you look after it, you reuse, reuse, reuse. How you clean it? Simply with water after each use, or what I love is our Tjhoko wipes. Then you wipe it clean. You can see I haven't had time to do it yet. There's been a lot of preparation in between meetings and normal work, a day schedule that happened. But you take, even now, you can wipe them clean with the Tjhoko wipes. Okay, so I move in circular motion. You can also dab. I'm just sharing ideas that works best for me, and also because I have a fast-paced life and need to do things quickly. So the moving of the stencil brush in circular motion ensures that the application is done evenly, it's done with great success and quickly, and you use so little product. Okay, so I'm working fast so that you can see the result. I just add little paint at a time as I see my brush is dry. Yes, there's a question.
Is Tjhoko going to have any Black Friday specials?
It's already, so you need to go have a look on the website. It's already happening. So go have a browse. We have a Black November month. Okay, so how to tweak any mistakes when you do stenciling. Best way is a piece of sandpaper. So if you have done something where you need to fix, wait for the stencil work to be dry, and then you give a light sand and no one will notice the imperfections. I also want to show you how to pattern repeat the stencil. So as you can see, I couldn't complete it because my stencil is not big enough to do, or long enough to do the entire length of the planter box. So what I'm going to do is I just simply see where the pattern repeats itself, and I find that spot, and now I can see and ensure that it completes the entire section that's left, and then it's a seamless pattern. Okay, next inspiration. Once the stencil work has been done, you can see it's not perfect there. I'm just going to fix that quick. And this is now a true example of fixing things when you need to. I can just find that spot. Just see where it is. add some paint there. Ensure the end result is beautiful. I will also, Kaylee, you need to remind me to show the wreath that I completed last night, because I said I will show.
Okay.
So now the paint work has been done. What I do want to create next is some texture, color, pattern, everything very important, even to decorate a space. And everything, if it's done wisely, can ensure elegance, sophistication, and beauty, and also bohemian, if you like extraordinary. Do what makes you happy. Okay, it's your space. You need to love it to walk into your house, your dwelling, and just feel at home. What I have done in this plate is I have scooped out some stencil of Paris paste and use as needed. Okay, you can always mix again. I am going to add a drop of Lady Lisa that we've just stenciled with, but really a drop. If I add too much paint, one of two things will happen. Either the paste will become too runny and it will leak underneath your stencil, or this dries, the paint mixed into the stencil of Paris dries quite dark. You won't notice when it's still wet, but as it dries, you will see the change in color. And you do want to see the background that you've just created, and you just want to make the texture part stand out and not hide what was already done. So I mix together my stencil of Paris paste. Is the sound fine, Kaylee?
Yes.
And just for time's sake, I'm not going to apply the stencil of Paris on the stencil perfectly all over. I'm rather going to do it more random. So perfect was done over there, and I'll show you how to accomplish that. But I want something that's rather random and imperfect, more an eclectic vibe. So what I'm going to do is I'm not even going to position my stencil exactly as it was. For the planter box that I have prepared, what I have done, and I'll show you, is I've put my stencil back into position and I moved it slightly, like 2 millimeters to the right and 2 millimeters down. And then I did my application. But for this eclectic vibe, I'm not going to be worried how I put my stencil back. I just put it back, and it's not perfectly on top of the previous stencil work that I've just completed. For the grade that I've completed, I have spread the paste everywhere evenly. But for this eclectic vibe, I'm just randomly, here and there, going to add, you can see I have damaged my stencil there, right? Don't do that. With your stencils. But I can also vouch that this stencil has really done a lot. It's not the first time that I've used it. It has done furniture pieces, a wall. Okay, so I'm not putting paste everywhere, and I'm not even overthinking it. So this is maybe the time of year where you need to, if this frightens you because you like things in order, you like lists, you're an A-type personality like me, at first this will create anxiety. But the more you become free in your creative ways of thinking and doing things, you will realize the benefit of trying out new things, and you will discover so much about yourself. Okay, I'm lifting up. With my fingers, I remove any excess paste, and what I'm going to do next is I'm simply, without even overthinking it, I just want to make sure that that pattern more or less repeats itself. Let me just find that There you go. Is it now? No, it's not. Let me just see where's that. There is a dot. There it is. Okay. So there's how the stencil was positioned. And to not further damage my stencil, we'll just move that in that direction. There's some. Okay, so when your stencil of Paris is dry and you do want to change anything, you can simply sand. Okay, I just want to remove that section, that it's clean there. And how do I do it? I take a cloth. So my stencil of Paris has not dried yet, so I can take a cloth and I can wipe away excess, clean that border, so that there's no stencil of Paris here. That's also personal choice. Okay, do what makes you happy, but you can change wherever, whenever you want to. I just don't want that to dry. Okay, now that part is done. Just move this over. And I just want to create neatness over here. Sorry, you can see now where the perfection sneaks in. Now I know my piece is neatly finished. What I'm going to do next, if this is dry and I do want to create some changes, I'll take my sandpaper and I'll lightly sand or leave as is. Okay, next, I'm going to take some, let me just also clean the top while it's still wet, because I am going to use this absolutely for Christmas. Okay, and after that, to create some uniqueness on my planter box, I have these pieces of leftover leather. Really, you can see the imperfections. It is from a leather workshop. And I have some thumbtacks, normal thumbtacks, and I have a lamour. You call this a lamour in Afrikaans, or a hammer. And what you're going to do is you are simply going to add handles. You can measure if you want to measure. For time's sake, I'm not going to do it. I press in my thumbtack. You can hold it with a plier to ensure that you don't hit your fingers. Well, this is when you pray. Okay, make sure it's nice and straight. Is it straight, Gailey?
It looks like it.
Okay. And the other thumbtack. So this is just optional. I'm just sharing ideas with very little. You also get faux leather from fabric stores, so you can, if you want to invest in a small piece. I have a pliers. Let me use that before my hands are very precious. And you simply knock in your thumbtacks. I'm just going to do the same this side. Let me turn it around so that my Pablo, close the stencil. Close the stencil down. Ons wys vir die groot slag. Ons wys vir die mense. Oh, look at this. Look how big Pablo has grown. And Pablo is very good. Nee, Pablo. Except for the fact that my entire house is turned upside down. I don't think my own children has ever created so much chaos. I don't think we have shoes left, or bras or panties that are not being dragged all over the lawn. Everything else is fine. Okay, Kylie, is it straight?
A little bit more down on this side. There we go.
Like that?
Yes.
Are you sure? I can't
Yes,
see.
I can see. Let me help you. Give this one. It's not perfect, but it's pretty.
Okay, you will just make sure that it's correctly placed into position.
And if it's not, you can remove it.
Yeah, you can remove it with your pliers. I'll do it afterwards and just move it back. And then you're going to do the same on that side. Something else that I've added to the planter box, and I'm just going to turn it upside down, is some feet. So I bought this from our local Tjhoko. I know Galma also stocks them. Builders Warehouse, Build It Maybe. So most of the hardware stores do stock various options. They, however, look like this. They're raw timber. And once again, with the lime wash, whitewash technique, you can change the color easily or paint it solid. I apologize for that. Maestro? Okay, what I'm going to do for this technique is I'm going to use some water, damp cloth, and this time not paint but the antique brown glaze. Exactly the same as we have done previously, this time just not with paint but with a glaze. Add some to my damp cloth and I'm simply going to wipe. Also, once again, if you feel afterwards that it's too dark, you can sand or wash with a lighter color on top, or while you at it, you can take your damp cloth and wipe away while it's still wet. Just with raw timber surfaces, it absorbs quite quickly, so you need to wipe away quickly. If the surface was bigger, I would also have wet the wood first before I did the stain, but this is nice and small and quite easy to manage. Okay, now that this is done, okay, no judgment for the next step. Because we want to finish things right, and we're not prepared to wait for help. So I have shortcuts for mostly anything and everything. Glue gun in the center. You can mark where you want to place the feet. I haven't done it. And you press down. Oh my word, you are really part of my family. That was not paint art, it was nice. Sitting next to it. We apologize. Okay, Kylie, is that nicely in position?
I don't think I'm the one to tell.
Okay, but it just needs to look
Yes,
more or less
it
right.
does look right, yeah.
Okay, just difficult to see.
Just tell the people, what would you call these at a Tjhoko or at a Build It?
We will just ask them for the loose raw timber feet. They will know exactly what you're referring to. Some of them looks like golden claw, so they have different sizes and different shapes. Some of them are just round. You can just say the wooden add-ons for legs and feet that if they stock that. This actually very quickly creates a complete different effect to something very simple, like a crate. Look there. How beautiful is that? Okay, so I hope this makes complete sense. I'm just going to move it out of the way. Next, I'm so excited to show you this. We are going to continue with a candle. So what you need is a candle and you need a light. Of course, the candle, if you don't want to use this candle, you can burn a different candle. Say for instance, a new candle that you want to give to someone as a gift. You need a lighter. And then I love walking, so this is just pieces of grass that I picked and pressed in a very heavy book for 2 days. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this. Let me just find a piece that's a bit smaller for this candle and cut it here. Marcy, please behave. I'm still going to use my pliers. I don't know where I've put my scissors. Okay. I'm going to place it on my candle. And now instead of, let's first do this one. Instead of using paint to paint with, we are going to paint with candle wax. Tip to clean your brush afterwards, boiling water. And you just rinse and rinse in boiling water. And patiently, it is easier to paint with paint, but it does work. This creates such a beautiful gift to someone. The plant can have a story or a meaning or a memory that you share. You can cut off that piece with your pair of scissors. Maestro. I'm sure Maestro heard me mentioning the word walk.
Pablo is busy playing on the couch.
I don't even want to look up. I might have a heart attack. My children weren't allowed to run on the couches. Pablo? Pablo. Okay, and this is how it is done. So it's just patience, and it actually creates something very bespoke and beautiful. Okay, and there it's done. And here's one that was done one evening, I'm not sure when. So here you can add some more grass, you can add on. So this would be beautiful, and the same technique will apply. Just for time's sake, I'm not going to do it now. Or I might just do it. But that will be beautiful. Let me rather not. Okay, let's not waste time with this, but you know exactly how to do this. Let me just give Maestro a quick T-R-E-A-T. Maybe we'll go back on some last. going to show you how to do something creative with wire. This is so much fun and the possibilities are endless. I'm just quickly creating some order around me. So what you will need for this is wire. You also buy it from your hardware stores and stationery stores. So I got mine from Pitto in Jeffreys Bay, but you can find from hardware stores. You just ask for the thinnest wire they have. Okay, it comes in roll up bundles like this. Then what you need is a glass covered with glad wrap. You will need pliers. You will need a fork. This is so much fun to do in the evenings. If you are watching your favorite series or just having some quiet time. So we are going to, then you can get beads. So I was lucky to get these ones that look festive-y. But if you like more the natural look, here's beautiful wooden ones. What I usually do, if I see something that I know I might use someday, I have a cupboard filled with art and craft and stationery stuff. Okay. What you're going to do is with a wire, due to the fact that it's already rolled up, I'm simply using the shape and I am cutting with my pliers, and these pliers have really worked hard. Some half circles, even sometimes smaller. So what we do want to create, let me show you the end result, and then all of this will make sense. We want to create, I'm not even sure, I wanted to, is it grass seed?
It's like a grass seed.
Okay, so it's just stuck in my arrangement, but this is what it looks like. Okay, but the beads could also be natural timber beads. And I'm going to show you how easy it is. And also there are many shapes and designs that you can play with, just leaves or daisies or whatever resonates with you. Okay, so I'm just simply using the shape of the roll and I'm cutting so that it automatically gives the shape of what we want to create. And if you want, so you need different sizes. So even this works well. So here's some that I've already cut. And here you can see there are bigger ones, smaller ones, longer ones, shorter ones. So you need a variety. What I have found is the easiest is to press in, and these are so cute because it is polystyrene. So you just press them in. If I wanted to do the wooden ones, I would use also the glue gun. First apply the glue and then press them down. And you make sure that you have a whole lot of them. And this is what I have over here. Okay, next what we are going to do. And this is something I played around with, and you might even find easier ways of doing this, but this is something that worked for me. Due to the round shape, it's difficult to wire everything together. So what I have done is the following. I just put in this glue stick. I just want to start it so it's easier. Okay. I have a glass with some cling wrap on, and it's simply, if the glue gets in contact with the glass, that my entire design doesn't get stuck to my glass. I press a small ball of glue in the center, and I place another one on top, nicely positioned in the center. Some glue again. So you continue to do this. Make sure you have different sizes, different shapes, and you just build your own flower. I'm just going to do 2 more and then I'll continue to the next step. You can also use something like a kebab stick, Susati stocking, to be the stick if you wish to. I like the idea that everything is wire, but it's completely up to you. And then you can, with a glue gun, just stick the Susati stocking on. Let me show you what I mean. I have one in here. This is a sushi stocking, but this could also work if I just stuck it here with a glue gun. So this can also be an option, right? Okay, I'm going to allow for this to dry while I show you how to do the white stem. So this is what we are going to do next. And you simply twist the wire. So you take a long piece. Just get the original roll here. I'm going to twist some off. Cut some off. And it's nice to make it rather longer because then you can always manipulate the length depending on your arrangement or the theme or where you want to use it. And simply what is easiest if you take a fork. I told you everything in my kitchen gets used to paint things with. Okay, and what I do is I twist my fork and the entire wire gets twisted. And it doesn't hurt you. You can sing a song, you can do squats or not. You can choose something and you just continue to twist until you have something and you can manipulate and change the shape until it is a long stem like this. And now just to connect everything, I'm going to rather, instead of the glue gun, because the glue gun won't necessarily hold all the metal items together, I'm just going to wire a piece of metal through here. If the polystyrene balls fall off, you can always just put them back. I use my pliers. I just twist everything. I have left, so your fork actually leaves that hoop for you to use. Twist it through, or thread it through, and I just twist it onto my stem. With your pliers, if there are any pieces, wire pieces, metal pieces standing up, you press it flat. And now you can manipulate your flower. Also, if you see some pieces are too long, you can also cut them shorter with your pliers. Change the shape, put back the polystyrene balls that fell off, and voila. Even on a gift bag, this can be such a lovely gift tag. Okay, and there it's done, as easy as that. And it is lovely to do it. Okay, so that is something that I will add to my decoration, centerpiece decoration, that will go into that box. Now the last thing, I have so many Tjhoko jars that are empty and I never throw them away. And I was thinking this is actually such a lovely gift to give to someone. If your centerpiece at the end of your Christmas lunch becomes the gift for everyone that sat around your table, and you can give each person with their names on. This can even be succulents in here, and they can plant it in their garden and they can remember the experience they had with you. It can be something that grows in your life. a relationship and special memories that grow and that you keep alive. So how I have done this jar is quite simple. So you can see this is my Tjhoko jar that was washed.
250
At
milliliters.
250 ml, but you can use any size. And this is what's placed inside my crate. So it's there. And then I will just gift it to everyone that sat around the table. So how you paint it on the inside is so lovely because you don't need a lot of paint. You don't need a lot of coats of paint. And you don't need to repaint. You simply add some paint to your jar. And if your paint sometimes, I'm also guilty, your paint becomes thick because of you leaving it open like I'm doing for the entire week. You can throw it in there. It's one coat. You don't need more than this. Okay, you can also, if you want to, maybe add a different color here and there. So here I want to create like a mottled effect. So I just rub against the glass and I change. Okay, don't worry about the inside. You'll see it's not perfect, but it's not the inside that matters. So I just make sure it's nice there. This is stunning. I make sure I clean it. And now you have patience. So we had rain today. It was overcast, it was wet, it was rainy, and this really took a while to dry. So later I had to get the hair dryer and I had to use the hair dryer. Then I realized, okay, but if my glass was hot, it would dry quicker. So I turned my oven to 100 degrees. I put my Tjhoko jars, empty, nothing painted in it, in the oven so that it could heat up. Then I painted them and then the drying was much quicker. So that's also something that you can do, and you can add glitz and glamour. So if you want to add some gold, so you can scoop away, you can, yeah, I'm being creative in terms of what I want to create. Add some gold in there. And this actually becomes another creative process and quite satisfying. Let me just add some gold in here. This will be beautiful. This is stunning. And it's something that's there forever. Then you can twist some rope around this like I've done over there. And also something that I do want to show is what I've done over here. And it doesn't necessarily need to be with a metallic color, it can be with any color. So say for instance you just want to dry brush the outside to create something extra. I'm just going to use the more dry metallic at the top. So dry brush means you're working with a dry brush and very little paint. And I'm just going to start, I'm not sure if this is visible. So it's a subtle technique where you add some color to a surface without, okay, is it visible?
Yes.
So it's subtle, it is a festive vibe, and it's elegant and beautiful, and we are upcycling. It's not about the value in terms of how much the gifts costed. It is with the heart, the soul, and the sincerity and the authenticity that we gift each other with. And there is a lovely gift. Very little paint, very quick and simple. I hope that I've shown anything. I think I have. Okay, so the candle, your planter box, metal decorations on the inside, fynbos that I cut from the felt, and then just some creative ideas. And it doesn't need to be for Christmas only, it can be for every occasion. It can be really a planter box with herbs in it. It can be a gift. It can be for any occasion. Imagine you have like a baby shower and you put all baby items into that. After Pablo's arrival in our house, I'm very glad that that is something that I personally won't experience. But I'm very excited for everyone else that shares creative and special memories together. Thank you for watching. I'll be back tomorrow evening with more creative ideas. I hope that you have enjoyed. Have a wonderful rest of your evening and then see you soon. Bye.